Hello everyone. This is Tobi from the Phuket Meditation Center, and you're listening to the Dharana Meditation Podcast. Let's sit together, calm the busy mind, and explore topics concerning character development, meditative training, and deeper self-knowledge.
Let's start by sitting upright, the head gently suspended from above. Releasing the soft tissues of the body, like your skeleton is hanging from the ceiling, attached by the crown. And all the flesh, all the muscles, all the soft parts of the body follow gravity, just melting down into the ground. Breathe in a way that feels nice, that you enjoy. Consider that each breath fills you with life. Receive yourself with kindness, with compassion. At our level here, that means simply allowing yourself to be as you are. Not approaching yourself from a standpoint of control, needing to control, needing to manage, needing to fix, to add, to take away, to bend, to manipulate, but simply appreciating your being, the simplicity of being here. whatever feelings or thought might be there, whatever restlessness or peacefulness, whatever you experience, let it just be as it is. Observing how experiences come and go by themselves. Not only giving space to your experiences, but also your reactions to those experiences. Let them be too. Drop any kind of demand to be a certain way. Simply watch. And once everything has settled down a bit, feel the entire body as you breathe in, and releasing, softening as you breathe out. And gradually saturating the body with consciousness. Breathing in, feeling, breathing out, softening. And as good as you can, keep the awareness expanded throughout the body. moving away from this flashlight mode where you are just zooming into certain parts of your body, obsessing about them. Instead, feel the totality of your body as you breathe in. So breathe out, softening through the totality of your body. If you find that your mind is wandering, that's totally okay. Let it wander. As soon as you notice, very gently return. Just for one breath, one nice breath. Feeling the body as you inhale and releasing as you exhale. Gradually bringing a sense of openness and relief into your body. You might also notice that you hold particular amounts of tension in different parts of your body, such as your forehead or your jaws, your eyes, neck and shoulders, the heart, the belly. And your awareness might center at these places. And each time you notice those places, release around them when you breathe out. Just softening. This will happen automatically as you become aware. Just connecting this softening, letting go with your out-breath. Three of the most important points are the forehead, the heart, and the belly. Very gently softening around those spots. And at some point, quite naturally, you will begin to notice that the mind gravitates to one spot. Just feeling your breath, that one spot. Just let the mind rest there. For now, we're going to use The area of the nose, just feel as the breath enters, feel as it leaves. Just let the mind converge at this spot. Avoid forcing your mind to be there, like concentrating in this tense way. Instead, let the mind settle there. There's no pressure, no rush. It doesn't have to be the nose. It can be any place really where you are feeling your breath, any point. Breathing out, knowing that you're breathing out. Breathing in, knowing that you're breathing in. But while remaining centered with your breathing like that, you can slowly return and open your eyes, gently stretch a little bit. As you stretch, as you open your eyes, as you move, staying in touch with your breath, knowing whether you're breathing in or out. Aim to just keep one breath in mind every now and then. Every time you remember, there's a breath. And then just have one nice breath. Fairly simple. And you will forget many, many times, and then you'll remember many, many times. What's important is that you remember. If you, for example, set an intention at the beginning of the day, today I want to be a bit more mindful of the breathing, you'll be more mindful of the breathing throughout the day. Just don't rush. You don't have to push that mindfulness. It's much more like you're inviting a bit more awareness into your life. You're not the one doing the awareness. You've been offered a gift each time. When you're waking up, it's like a little gift. You're receiving a little gift. You come out of this habitual, compulsive wheel of thought, arriving in this moment, connecting with the truth, connecting with something that is more real than thought.
thoughts, very insubstantial, very unreal. Anyways, good morning, everyone. It's good to see all of you. Today, I have a question from Jagdish. So, by the way, I'm very happy about this guy, Jagdish. He was here once. He really took to heart the practice. He was really doing the work, which I'm really happy to hear. And so he keeps asking questions, he keeps sending in these things, and it's always great to know that this actually arrives and helps. So he writes, I'm doing well and would like to share the progress with you. I'm trying to sit for the sessions 1 hour, but not able to reach the duration yet. Sometimes I do have to take a break, or I finish to near about 30 to 40 minutes in a stretch. The one thing I noticed is that quality of stillness has improved. I'd like to discuss some queries with you. Is it okay to play some sound or music during meditation? As of now, I am chanting Om. I feel some sensation in different parts of my body, itching, sometimes passing gas. These create urge for the movement. I also sense some kinds of unknown fear, which I could feel in my heart mostly and sometimes in my gut. The fearful feeling causes tension in the body and disturbs my stillness at the same time. However, I'm trying to resist the urge of the movement, but successful for a while, but at times I have to end my meditation session. All right, I'm happy that the stillness has improved. That's very good. 30 to 40 minutes is good. That's already significant. In the beginning, I always recommend everyone that comes here, if you want to have some guidance of how to really get started with the practice properly, if you want to take this to heart, then the first step is always to learn to sit still. There's a big benefit just in that. People completely underestimate this. They think, well, it's just sitting still. Or they might even think, sitting still, like I'm not a soldier. I'm here to relax and enjoy. And I'd rather want to lie down and, do all kinds of comfortable stuff. But there is a very clear point in sitting still. If your body is still, if you can think of your body as a cup and the mind as water in it. For this particular example, that works. So if the cup moves, the water moves, right? So if you want your mind to still, to calm down, you need to stop moving the body. In other words, you need to stop responding to the body's endless needs. Because the body won't stop. As long as you are buying into it, as long as you're connecting with your body will keep calling. Because it knows that you will respond. It's like a cat. If you have a cat, you give it food. Let's say you don't want to have a cat. But, the cat comes to you every morning, scratches on the door, and then you give it some food. But at the same time, you don't like it because it pees everywhere and then it's super stinky. So you want to get rid of it, but you keep feeding it. The problem is the feeding. If you stop feeding it, what will happen? Well, the cat will come and it will create, maybe it will take a dump on your carpet in front of the door, or it will do something outrageous or be extra loud. Cats sometimes, they can become very loud, very insistent if they want something. And it will do that to test, are you responding? Can I get my food? And if you then feel like, the poor cat, okay, one more time, and then you give it food again, it'll just keep coming back. And then even more so, because you haven't been consistent, now the cat knows it can break you. It just needs to scream loud enough. A lot of people actually raise their children like this. Nowadays, a lot of people are afraid of their kids not liking them. So they don't want to discipline them. They don't want to show them what is good for them. They don't want to limit them. You know why? Because they are afraid that the kids don't like them when they say no. They don't want to hurt the feelings of their children. In reality, it's not about that. It's not about not wanting to hurt the feelings of your kids. It's much more about you're being afraid of the consequences if you hurt their feelings. Then they don't like you. Then they say, I hate you, Dad. And then they close the door and they don't want to have anything to do with you. You don't want that. You want your kids always to say, I love you, Dad. You're the best dad in the world. You're my best friend. That's not a good idea, I think. You need to show your children boundaries. And that means you need to teach them by not responding to their each and every impulse. Otherwise, you will teach them exactly that every time I have an impulse, I have it met. That we call it spoiled, right? If you have someone that's really spoiled, it's because of that. Each and every impulse has been met by insecure parents. So, your body is kind of like a little kid or like a cat, and it will pull on your shirt and can you fix my posture? It hurts. And each time you say yes and you fix your posture, what does your body learn? Okay, I get my needs met. So I will have more needs then. That's the problem. Every time your needs are met, you will want more. It's not that you're like, my needs are met. Now I'm satisfied. It's much more like, here's the source of my happiness. Let's attach to it. Here's my needs are met from this person or this substance or this thing, whatever. Let's attach to it. I get my needs met every single time. Your body is just like that. I'm not telling you to abuse your body. Just like I wouldn't advise parents to abuse their children in return. That would be the other extreme. Abuse is just as negative as spoiling. We need to have something that's in the middle. Neither abuse nor spoiling. And that is awareness. Training yourself not to react to each and every impulse means you become more stable in your ability to observe. If you react every time, you're not becoming more stable. You get involved. You're not observing, you're involved. That's a big difference, these two. You're either watching or you're doing. If your body is calling you and you're reacting, you're doing. You're not watching. If you watch, however, then you can learn something completely new. It's a paradigm shift in most people's life. They can learn that discomfort arises and passes by itself. It comes and it goes. If I just sit here and wait, things will arise and things will pass. But if I react to whatever arises and passes, if I want to get rid of it, if I feel uncomfortable with it, if I don't have space for it, it will keep coming back because it's like a loyal customer. You get the service, you get my attention every time when you come, you will keep coming back. That's a problem. This is why a lot of people, when they practice this, to remain still, then they actually get to know the very important truth about themselves. The truth of dukkha, the truth of suffering. There is stress, there is suffering. And normally we never see that because we're so busy all the time avoiding it, managing it. In meditation or in spiritual practice in general, you're not managing your suffering. This is an error. It's not really an error. You need to manage it, but you're training yourself to go beyond managing, and you go towards more of a understanding. And the understanding arises if you're watching, observing, rather than reacting and managing. So step away from managing your body and instead replace that managing with awareness. Don't react, watch. It's also a sign where you can tell whether somebody is worth their salt. Somebody does have a decent spiritual practice or not. It's how still they are when they meditate. And how independent they are when they meditate. They don't need any external stimulation because they provide themselves with their own homemade happiness. So they're not dependent on anything. There's no dependency. You're free, it's freedom. You get to know that element within you that is completely free and at ease, happy, that does not have any needs. Obviously, something within you that has a lot of needs is by definition very unhappy, very unsatisfied. It needs constant attention, needs constant caretaking and looking after and so on. So that's suffering, stressful. It's not in the nature of peace. What's in the nature of peace is that element within you that is aware, that knows. And so for a beginner, that's the very first thing to do, is learn to sit still. Also, it's something else. It shows a teacher that somebody is in it because they really want it, versus somebody just wants some comfort. I want to belong to a group. That's comfortable. I want to hear interesting teachings. That's comfortable. But why do you really want to sit down and do this? Because spiritual practice, by its nature, it's a complete reversal of your habits. You go against the grain. You go against the world. You go against the habit of attaching to your body and your senses. You go against the habit of attaching to beliefs and ideas and opinions and so on. You go against that habit of turning your light towards the outside, and you turn it around instead. You look at yourself, you look at the looker. Why would you do that? Why do you want to make effort to understand who you are? Because it holds the promise of freedom. Freedom of suffering and stress, and release, and true happiness. Meaning an independent happiness. Your happiness doesn't depend on circumstances. Doesn't depend on stuff. Instead, it comes out of your core. Two reasons, yes? One, learn to stop reacting and shift over to watching. And two, take it as an experience that raises important questions. Why would I make effort for this? Why would I sacrifice my time, my energy, and my comfort for this? The world will offer you comfort, distractions. You could just do that. But something inside of you says, maybe there's more than that. Most people that are drawn to spiritual practice, they know sense pleasures are not all of life. The chasing of sense pleasures, the chasing of those things, maybe there's more to life than just, working, getting a paycheck, paying your taxes, getting retired and dying. Maybe there's more to life. And that call inside of you that reaches out, that you get the opportunity to really hear that, because you're making effort, it's painful, it's difficult, and yet you do it. Ask yourself, why? Why are you really making this effort? If you don't make it through this first phase of being able to sit regularly for an hour, it might become a bit more clear for you why you really want to do this spiritual practice. Maybe spirit is not what you're looking for. Maybe what you're looking for is a bit of comfort, a bit of entertainment, a bit of killing time. Then you would stop. You wouldn't make any more effort, because it's like, well, if I need to make that much effort for spirit, I prefer comfort. If I can have God for free, sign me up. What does that mean? Well, you don't want to make any effort. Like, God is not worth your effort. The divine enlightenment, the highest potential, is not worth making effort. What does that say about your relationship with yourself? It says, I'm not worth making effort. Why would I make effort for myself? Why would I endure hardship to get to know myself? Why? Good question, excellent question. You got to answer that. Otherwise, you won't make it to the hour. You'll just drop the practice at some point, which reveals, okay, you haven't been in it sincerely looking for truth. You've been in it for some sort of distraction, which is okay. There's no problem with that at all. Even it might sound like it is a problem. It's not. It's perfectly fine. You want to seek some distraction. You want to seek temporary entertainment and so on. That's okay. But then be clear about that. This is what I'm here for. I just want to do this to cool down a little bit after a busy day. It's not more than that for me. Make it very clear. But then I would actually recommend napping. It's better. It's more efficient. It gets you more rest in shorter time. Get some good sleep, eat well, take walks in the sunshine. It's going to do the trick. It's much less hard than meditation. Meditation, you really have to organize yourself, get yourself together, and you have to adapt to something that is greater than yourself. You cannot pull God down onto your level. You have to rise up to that level. What I'm saying is, you cannot pull the divine down to your level. Make it more comfortable. Make it more easy. So then I will do it. Which basically means I see no value in you. You're not worth my time and my effort. But I might consider doing it if you were a little bit closer. I would come to your shop if your shop was in my neighborhood. But I don't go to your shop if I have to sit in my car for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. What does that say? You don't really need it. If you really want it, if you really need it, the shop might be 10 hours away, and you would find a way to go there and get your thing if you really need it. And that's the only shop that has it. So the effort that you make, the hardship that you take upon yourself, is a direct reflection of how much you want something. If I think of the masters that I've read about and heard about, like all of them took upon themselves these massive hardships, really absolutely out of this world hardships. Think 9 years without lying down. Just sitting, walking, standing, no lying down. Living in caves. Sitting in forests at nighttime where there is real tigers around. Sitting on the path of those tigers. Challenging their fears. Really wanting to transcend their own suffering to a point where they pass out. There's one teacher, one master in the Thai tradition, I think it was Lungta Mahabua. He had a heart attack and he kept doing his practice, and his teacher had to scold him to stop doing. You have to rest. He was like sweeping the floor or something like that. And because that's the duty of a monk. You sweep your floor, and he did that while having like a heart attack. And he just kept doing his duty. These people are machines. They are single-pointed focus on enlightenment. They are living this life for the sole purpose of reaching the divine. They have no other desire. Most of us, we have a lot of other desires. And it's revealed when you sit still how many other desires we have. I want to be comfortable, I want to be entertained, some music would be good, and so on and so forth, right? Jagdish, he actually asks, is it okay to play some sound or music during meditation? As of now, I am chanting Om. Why is Om not enough? Why extra stuff? Would it be more entertaining? Would it be more nice? What's your fantasy behind it? Don't get me wrong, I'm not being like dismissive of it. I'm challenging you to ask yourself questions why you really want to do something like that. Why do I actually want to listen to music? If I'm not listening to music versus if I'm listening to music, what is the difference? What's the music supposed to do? You might answer, well, it will make me feel more relaxed. It will give me a point on which I can focus. Well, if you cannot focus on Om, you will not be able to focus on the music either. This is not a problem about the object. That's a problem about the subject not being able to focus. We cannot blame it on objects. You can shift around your object as much as you want. And it's maybe you're asking yourself, well, should I listen to meditation music? Should I listen to singing bowls? Should I listen to jazz? Should I listen to death metal? Which music should I listen to while I'm sitting in meditation? Then you have the next problem. You need to find the right song. And then you listen to it a couple of times and you need another song, and so on and so forth. This simply means you're restless. This desire to constantly connect with the senses is also the opposite of meditation practice. In meditation practice, what we're doing is we are withdrawing consciousness from the senses. So if you're now plugging headphones into one of the senses, into your ears, you're starting to listen to music, your mind will attach to your ear, right? Otherwise, what's the point of listening to music? If I gave you some anesthetic and you would pass out for 2 hours, would you mind if you're listening to music or not? You wouldn't even hear it. So does it matter? No, right? Because your mind would be withdrawn from your senses. But nowadays people are their minds are so incredibly restless that they need to make noise to fall asleep. I've heard that many, many times already. People play like white noise or the sound of waves or something like this so they can fall asleep. Cannot fall asleep anymore naturally because the mind is often too loud. I get that if like you're living in a super noisy place and you're putting on some music to like drown out the sudden noises of your neighbors or something like that, like some jungle sounds or whatever, or rain sound and so on, so you're not like disturbed. I get that, but a lot of people also need to listen to music so they're not focusing on themselves as they fall asleep because they get so agitated by their own minds, they can't fall asleep anymore. They have no peace. So the only way is like they need to grab an external object and that helps their mind to be anchored with it. It is like a type of meditative activity, but it's not recommended. I don't recommend it to sit down and do meditation with meditation music or anything like that. Because it would take away also many important lessons on the way. For example, the understanding of how you are not bothered by sound. You cannot learn that because you're suppressing sound. You're drowning out other sounds. So you take away the opportunity to learn more about how you react to sound. and what causes like or dislike within that relationship. That's a vital experience, really important. You take that away. Every time you're looking for comfort, you're also postponing like a lesson that you could be having, something that's important to learn. Sometimes life forces us. It takes away all your tools and makes you really uncomfortable, and you have nothing to deal with the discomfort. And it's very often in those situations that people grow spiritually. Naturally, they become calmer, more patient, stronger, more kind, more loving, more understanding, and so on and so forth, through their hardship. I always say that hardship plus awareness speeds up your growth. If you can bring awareness into hardship, difficulty, you're not reactive, but you're watching, you're stepping back from your involvement with it, that's equaling faster spiritual growth. You can have some of the fastest and most profound transformations in the most challenging situations, life-death situations. If you bring awareness into that, very powerful. Personal fears, being offended, all these kind of things. If you bring awareness into that, equals fast transcendence of old personal stuff, coming more into a wholesome state of mind and consciousness. So no, I don't recommend to listen to music, but he also says, I also sense some kind of unknown fear, which I could feel in my heart and sometimes in my gut. Fearful feeling causes tension in my body, disturbs my stillness at the same time. Now he says something really important. However, I am trying to resist the urge to move, but successful for a while by the times I have to end my meditation sessions. Here is the error. Don't resist and don't give in. Neither. Don't resist, don't give in. It's okay to feel. It's okay to feel intense feelings. Feelings are okay. You don't have to be afraid of feeling. What is feeling in its nature? What is it made of? It's energy. Energy. It's just life. It's just life. Nothing more, nothing less. Every feeling is a direct expression of life. Energy. Want to be more scientific? It's bioelectric currents, aka energy. Right? It's electricity in your body. You're picking up electricity. First of all, that's really cool. Completely shifts your perspective. You sit down and you feel with the consciousness that what you are feeling is actually electricity in your body. This is fascinating. It's like it takes away all this bad feeling, good feeling, whatever. It just makes it interesting. You're not actually feeling anger or frustration or boredom or fear. All those are just words. I want you to take away those words and experience what you're experiencing as if you never felt a feeling like that before. And then look at it without describing it. Look directly. Don't call it anything. You can call your fear anything, right? You can call it fear or beer or ropopopopop or something like this. It doesn't matter what name you give it. The word doesn't matter. The direct experience of it matters. What is it actually? Before you have even learned what you call that. As a little baby, you've learned that this is what you call fear. And then you got stuck with this word. You stopped watching. Now come back to that state as a baby. What are you feeling? You don't even know the language. You don't know how to call it. You don't know how to conceptualize it either. Is it good? Is it bad? It's a feeling, isn't it? Electricity in your body. How does it move? Where does it move? Let it move. Free it. Stop trying to control it. Open up to it. Surrender to it. The path is in that sensation. All you need to do is watch. The fear comes up, and I release the resistance around it. If I were to put it in words, that's how I would put it in words. I just soften around it. I give it space, because what we usually do is we squeeze the sensation. Sensation comes up, and you would, even with your muscles, with your physical, you would squeeze around that sensation, trying to suppress it, trying to keep it in place, trying to be in charge of it, controlling it. Because you're terrified of it. It's not only fear that you're experiencing, but the reaction is also fear. It's fear reacting to fear, reacting to fear, reacting to fear. So how do you break out of that cycle? You have to stop reacting, because the reaction is the fear. Trying to get rid of it, justifying it, explaining it away, trying to figure out where it came from, all that kind of stuff. That just gives it more credibility. It makes it more powerful. Instead, watch. Just look directly at the experience as it is, without words, without explanation, without meaning behind it. Just watch. Electricity, aliveness, moving. Make it as simple as possible, if you have to describe it. Aliveness. How about that word? Use that word. And then you curiously let that life flow through your body as it will. While you're doing that, you learn a valuable lesson, that this feeling will come and go, and you remain unharmed every single time. Is that not a powerful lesson? To understand that you are more powerful than stuff that comes and goes? That you're beyond all these things that come and go? That is peace. That's where you can find it. If you want happiness and peace, you only find it in the one that doesn't move. You cannot find it in conditions that move. Trying to get the perfect feeling, trying to get the perfect whatever, you won't, because all that stuff comes and goes. So chasing things that come and go is just stressful. So step back and watch. And learn, through this hardship, you learn that it's okay to feel. Like if I have feelings, I'm not impressed. It's just a normal thing for me. It's just feeling. I don't make a big fuss around it. I don't give it any particular names, like depression, sadness, this, that. I don't do that. I simply watch what's there for real. And the only thing I can ever see is endless buzzing. Just aliveness everywhere. And even more cool, I'm not doing that. I'm not making things buzz. Something makes it buzz, but it's not Tobi. It buzzes by itself. Thoughts arise, pass, not because great Tobi is making them arise and pass, but they just do. It's an old program. It just does its thing. Why would I be so impressed by it? Well, that's just what the brain does. It's just what the nervous system does, what the hormones do. They make you feel, and they make the body feel. That's what life is. It only becomes a problem if you make it one. If you say, oh, I'm feeling, but I shouldn't feel. Or I shouldn't feel this feeling, I should feel that feeling. Now you've got a problem, because now you need to chase your feeling. Because you're not satisfied with the way it is. You're basically busy rejecting truth all the time for the sake of getting something that's in your fantasy. Oh, I need to be this person, that person, always happy, always smiling, always powerful and strong and independent and whatnot. It's because we're unsatisfied. So how do you learn to be satisfied? Well, stay, don't move, watch, and learn through that watching. And just some practical stuff at the end. Keep practicing the way you do. And just add 2 or 3 minutes every week, or 5. And then stick to it. No matter whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, stick to it. You add 3 more minutes, well then stick to your 3 more minutes. If you feel overwhelmed by 3 more minutes, then make it 2 more minutes, or 1 more minute, or 30 more seconds. Until you feel like, yep, I can do that. And it's pushing the envelope a little bit. Puts me out of my comfort zone a little bit. So you have some room for growth. Just don't follow your comfort 100%. Just push a little so you can grow a little bit. You don't push too much, otherwise you will break also. Some people out there hearing this, maybe they're like, oh yeah, now I need to push a lot. First of all, you need to know why you're doing this, and then second, you will push just enough so you can grow. And trust me, pushing just enough so you can grow is way more than you think you could. Your mind will stop you way before you actually need to stop. It's called fear. You want to transcend that, you need to push a little. Otherwise you couldn't call yourself somebody that transcends. Somebody that has seen the truth. If you're just living a comfortable life, it's very unlikely. Maybe you just have nice ideas. It's a big trap on the path. Got to put it to the test. You do it with your seatings. You do it with your sittings, and you do it with your practice like that. Okay, that's enough for today.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and had a meaningful time. For more information and upcoming events, head over to our website at phuket-meditation.com. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.